So I have a question kind of related to that. So if men, it's wrong for men to lie about their height, do you also think that it's wrong for, say, women to lie about their just general physical appearance?
Yes.
That's where this
like
was
catfishing?
going.
Well, for example,
I
oftentimes,
knew it.
well, for example, when it comes to men misrepresenting their height on a dating app, you'll often see, and I'm not on any dating apps right now, although I used to be, I would say like more than 50% of profiles the women would use, sometimes one, sometimes two, sometimes all their photos would be heavily filtered. So they'd use like one of those face filter, Facetune, whatever it may be, which is lying about your physical appearance. So should we ban should we ban face filters on dating apps? And not only that, but then you also have Photoshop. They might suck in their waist a little bit, not literally suck in their waist, but they might use Photoshop to change their waist. And then you also had, for example, perhaps excessive use of makeup. And I'm trying to think if there's any other things that are done. Those are the main ones, I reckon.
I think society has created a culture where women are held to this very high standard of beauty, of body type.
Erroneous.
Disagree.
Okay.
Compared to men, but go ahead.
I didn't say compared to men. And over sexualized standard. And so I think actually, okay, so full disclosure, I get Botox. I'm not embarrassed to admit that. It's the only thing that I've done, but I'm all for facials and Botox, and I'm a girl's girl in every aspect when it comes to that. But it's interesting because I was talking to the nurse who does my injections, and she was telling me that a woman came in for a consultation for a nose job, and she said, I like the way my nose looks in person. I don't like the way it looks online. So can we get a nose job to make my nose look better in pictures? So we actually have this crisis of women wanting to look, and people in general. I don't think it's just women. I think it's men too, caring so much about our online presence and comparing ourselves to this unrealistic standard of beauty where we're so unhappy with the way that we look. And it's not just in person, it's online. People care more about now how they're being presented online than in real life. So I think that that's a crisis. And I think that it's a tragedy that women and young girls, like, because before it was like, even like maybe you're a little bit older when you started reading the magazines, but now it's like our young girls, like I have little sisters, and it breaks my heart when they are comparing themselves to how they look online. And it's breeded in us from the time that we're very young.
I agree with you. I feel like filters can be harmful to the way people are perceiving you if you're misrepresenting yourself. And I feel like they can also be harmful to the people using them, because if you're always seeing yourself a little bit better than you naturally look, it makes you like try and look like something that you in real life will never achieve. So I feel like it distorts your image of yourself and other people's image of you. So. But also, like, wearing makeup and stuff, like, people want to express themselves in the ways that they do. I don't think people are always wearing makeup in an attempt to, like, deceive someone.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's almost like a uniform, like a guy when you get dressed up. You're going to, like, look put together. I feel like makeup, not that it's the standard, but I feel like makeup is a part of looking put together as a woman.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes it's exaggerated how much like someone can actually change from makeup. Like it takes a lot more than most people go through.
Makeup pretty substantially changes or can change a woman's physical appearance. And it's not how you actually
Contouring.
Look. But to bring it back to my point.
What's your argument, though,
well,
with that?
If it's wrong for men to misrepresent or lie about their height on a dating app, then should it also be the case that women ought not to wear makeup in their photos that they present on dating apps?
Men,
or more egregiously, using filters and photoshopping your body and
why do you think that men feel like they need to lie about their height?
Why do I think men? Because height is an attraction trigger for women. You hear a lot of women say, I want to date a guy who's tall.
Yeah.
So they recognize that it's an attraction trigger.
So it's unrealistic standards. It's this crisis of unrealistic standards in beauty in our society that comes not only from the mainstream media, but social media and what's being presented as desirable and attractive.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think there's a biological reason why women are, generally speaking, more attracted to tall men, and that comes down to the ability to protect. Men who are tall, who are
There's a
physically large,
biological-
hold on. Men who are tall are more capable of protecting a woman, and being capable of protection is an attraction trigger in women.
There's
Right,
a
but-
biological reason why men are attracted to the features that women enhance with makeup too.
Okay.
I think what makeup does for
But-
women is generally make them look younger, right? Which is appealing
I
to men.
actually disagree with that. I think a
No, that's
lot
not
of
true.
people, when they wear makeup, makes them look older, especially if you have a lot of makeup on.
Yeah, totally.
Do any of you guys over here have a input?
On makeup wise, I
Well, just on the art-
Okay, personally, I don't like the filters or like editing because you're just giving like a false reality to who's swiping right or looking at you. Because when they meet you in person, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is not the person I was wanting to meet. This isn't gonna go any farther. This is you look nothing like what I thought you did." Like, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah.
For me, I say with the makeup thing, I started using makeup when I was 10, and I think when I was that age, the purpose was to look older, because I felt like that was kind of the pressure I was like subjected to, and like I wanted to look older and mature. But now that I'm older, I think it's more because, like I said, it makes me feel put together and it makes me feel good going about my day. But then also for the filters, I agree with Armani that it's just like sad that we have to get to that point of lying. And again, like I think social media is so fabricated in so many ways, and there's just like that risk that you have to take into account like, oh, this person could be looking different in person, because you are going to look different in person. Like no one's going to look the same in a photo, I think. So.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a curious question for the chat. I'm not on dating apps right now. I think you said that you're not either. Would the men in the chat value a woman uploading at a minimum one photo where they've got no makeup? It's like right out of the shower, they said, hey, this is what I look like, no makeup, here's one photo, and then there's maybe 9 other photos that have makeup on where they're done up. But there's one where it's like, hey, this is me, perfectly natural. Would men appreciate that?
I'm sure they would.
Because I would imagine,
I'm
yeah.
sure they would.
I bet that would go a long way
I mean,
with men
I
on dating
pose
apps.
myself in not in makeup all the time. Like no
That's
filters.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm sure I've, from my experience on dating apps, haven't been on them in a minute, but I don't know I don't know when it was, probably 5-6 months ago. There's, it's pretty actually rare to like see a dating profile where it's either no filter or no makeup. At least one photo. Super rare. So I think makeup, you are effectively lying about your physical appearance in the same way that men might lie about their height.
I just had a memory of
You guys
being
can disagree with me, by the way. Like, hello.
Okay, good. 'Cause
Like,
I
if
do.
you, why do you disagree with me?
I don't think it's a lie though. I don't
But
know.
it is a you.
It's
That's
just
not
I
what.
mean, dyeing your hair
It's
is a
like
lie.
you like fixing your hair up.
You could then say that's like haircuts and beards
Yeah.
and
Or outfits.
skincare
Yeah.
and outfits. It's just
No, not really.
It's like you getting a
because-
haircut, kind of.
I mean,
feel like, yeah.
one hairstyle over the other may be deemed more physically attractive than the other, certainly. However, makeup is this artificial thing that you're putting on your face that can really make, depending on the amount of makeup you're putting on, depending on what type of makeup you're putting on, can pretty substantially change your change how you look. And I think we can all agree, like, hair is one thing, but we really do look at face as like a very primary thing that we are attracted to.
Yeah. And I will say though, that is the purpose of makeup, and given that makeup isn't only exclusive to women,
men don't really
mean,
straight men. I would say
always-
even.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
most
But-
men do not
But
wear
yeah,
makeup.
you never
I always
know.
thought the purpose of makeup was to accentuate your features, not like completely change your appearance.
Yeah, like I'm not born
Definitely.
with blue eyelids.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
an accentuation.
Like I feel like there are some cases, like we've all seen videos online where it looks like a completely different person, but I feel like you're like
Most women are not doing
yeah,
that kind of makeup.
I feel like what you're saying, like it's not actually as common as you think. Like you can't do that much with makeup.
To really
I actually,
change
you
your
know what?
features.
Hold on. I have.
I mean, I'm sure you can bring up like an example, but your everyday girl, like
There's people that do know how to transform their face with makeup. I mean, I know that I've seen them on TikTok, like, or the people that make themselves look like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, like they do all of that
But
with
also
makeup,
in
but the
person,
reality is
that's gonna-
most women are not
look
doing
different.
that
also
every day.
in person, like that's gonna look crazy if you get close to the person. Like that doesn't look good either. It's gonna look like dusty and cakey, and like it's not gonna. It doesn't have like the magical like powers
Effect.
to make your face look like a completely different natural face up close.
Maybe in a camera or an
Yeah, like
angle or with
through-
certain lighting,
yeah.
but
But in the real
in
world,
real life, you're like, oh, this
in
is
the
just a
real
lady with a bunch of
world-
paint on her face.
Here, this is what I have. I actually have, so on my Facebook, Facebook has something called Facebook Dating, and it's like built in, it's automatically tied into your, if you have the Facebook app. So I'm just gonna pull it up. I don't use it, but I'm just gonna, I'm hoping you guys can take my word for it. I'm just gonna look at the first image that these women show. I'll swipe yes or no on every single person, and I'll tell you if they have a filter, if they have makeup. Well, I'm going to assume almost all of them have makeup. So I'll tell you if they have a filter, which I think is more egregious than wearing makeup. So yes, she has a filter. Filter.
I
Filter.
I can't tell.
No,
Filter.
no one
How do you
can
tell?
see
I don't
it.
know.
Wait,
You can't
you're
even
gonna
see
show
it.
us?
Yeah, we don't even
nobody
know
else
I'm not.
knows
I'm not going to
that.
show it to the. I'm not going to show. How am I going to?
Well,
I
you
think-
show it to
What's
us,
the
not
point
them.
of
Just
it?
take.
I might as well
Just
So-
just assume I'm acting in good faith, and I'll say yes or no if there's a filter or not. No filter. Filter.
Mm-hmm.
Filter. Possibly
But
filter.
Would you post
Fil-
a photo
filter.
without your
What
beard?
the fuck?
Oh my god.
What's that?
Would you post a photo on your social without
My
your beard?
my
your
beard
facial hair?
my
Yeah.
beard is
Or say
natural.
bald?
What are you hiding under your
It's
beard?
natural,
What's under your beard,
right?
Brian?
You have
People
no
wanna
face?
represent
Wait, but
themselves
bald.
the
Why
best
would I
way.
post a
Well,
photo?
what I'm
I
saying
have
is, like,
have a head of hair.
Honestly,
When we
like a
have-
haircut or facial hair is similar to like makeup.
It's
and-
not.
It
It's
kind
not
of
because
is
it's
because
natural.
Change
It's
your
not
appearance.
because
if we
it's
have
natural.
a kid with you, we need to know what your face looks like without the beard.
Also, if you have a-
for
what
Because
about
that's
30
going to affect our
millions of
children's
guys
facial
so
on
so
dating
if you
apps.
want
Yeah,
that for 32 years of my life I did not have a beard. You can go on my Instagram. There's plenty of photos of me without a beard, like clean shave. You can find photos of me.
So
But what do you
without
regardless
that.
I feel
of
like
any of the, sorry.
There's so many guys on dating apps though that are just like editing pictures of like their bodies if they
That's
like go to the
totally
gym.
true.
They're
Not
they're
as
posting
common.
shirtless
Not as
constantly.
common
I
as
think
women
everybody
do.
like
Like,
does
I will
little
agree,
stuff
though.
to try and like present themselves the best because they feel like it's really competitive and they probably have a lot of insecurities about.
Okay, but in any case, beard is something that's natural. Makeup does not magically sprout from your guys' faces. That's
So
something that
are
you
you-
have
We don't
to
have a beard.
actively.
yeah, so
Huh?
I think the
We don't have something covering half our face. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Okay.
and one thing I would also point out is when it comes to assessing physical attractiveness, and this is getting like very analytical, I would actually argue that the top 50% of one's face is like the thing that's more likely going to be like shifting someone's attractiveness versus the bottom.
Because what- you don't know till you look under.
I've like seen something.
Like a lot of attractiveness has to.
It's from like here up.
Yeah, it's from here up. So yes, I get where you guys are going. Oh, you could hide a weak chin or a weak jawline if you have a beard, but like I think there's makeup covers up way more than that.
What about hiding a bald head with a hat? Is it a red flag? Is it a red flag for you
Yes.
ladies if you're on a dating app and every photo of the man is wearing a
Yes.
hat?
That's actually
Yeah.
that's
Is that a red
actually-
flag?
Yes.
I feel like though, if you get
Just
close
embrace
enough
it.
to a person, eventually
You
all
know-
these things are gonna come to light.
That's
though.
what
I
I
was
was gonna
Like,
say actually.
what-
Yeah.
yeah, like-
Eventually, the filters and the makeup and the hats and the beards are gonna come off,
Yeah.
and what you're left with is who you actually are and what makes up your composition as a human being and your character. And if you don't have that right, it doesn't matter how many inches you lie on how tall you are or how much filter or makeup you put on. It's who you are. And if you could just focus on being the best person and having the best character that you possibly can, then that's
Yeah,
going to
and,
win
like,
you the
Okay,
date
also,
and the
like,
relationship.
if someone lies about a couple inches, like, I'm not gonna say, like, you're calling it, like, heinous and, like, egregious and stuff. Like, it's, like, not that serious to me. If people want to feel a little bit better for a second of their life, you know?
Well,
Like,
I'll
okay,
just-
Eventually, you're gonna get to know them and
but
see
yeah,
how they
but,
actually
like,
look.
no matter what, like, that's gonna come to light. Like, you're gonna notice one day, baby, you're gonna go on a roller coaster and he can't go on, or you know, like,
flies off.
yeah, like, you're gonna wash your face.
Okay, so look,
toothpaste
there's a
gone,
whole bunch of things
you know?
here. So you said that, well, ultimately it comes down to who you are as a person. I mean, we can all live in magical Disney fairy tale land, but at the end of the day, for both men and women, we need to be with someone who we're physically, most people need to be with someone they're physically attracted to. If it was the case that both men and women cared so deeply about what people really are like and who they are as a person,
I never
women
said
would not,
physical
hold on, let me
appearance
finish.
wasn't
Hold on, let
important.
me finish. Women would not wear makeup. Men would not give a fuck about their height. They wouldn't hide their bald spots. We, both men and women, care about physical attractiveness.
Actually, I said earlier,
Yeah.
and I don't remember what the topic was, but I said that one of the important aspects is physical attraction. So I'm not arguing that at all. But physical attraction is not enough. It's not going to make you a good
But
partner
you-
or a
yes, but
spouse.
that's where
So-
it starts. We
Sure,
know-
initial
and this is-
attraction, yeah, but
I mean, but it's also like chemical too. Like,
initial attraction, it can start there, absolutely, and most of the time for most people it does. But I'm saying that it's not enough.
and
It's
also
not enough.
What people find attractive is different too. Like, you're saying like one standard of attractive. Like, not everyone views things the same
If
way.
okay, but
Yeah.
if just to
you
address
can
that
say
really quick.
majority, I guess.
I mean, just to address that really quick, if you line up 100 people, 100 men, 100 women, and they're all kind of like rating the people, there might be some variation, but like I'd say people could come to a consensus of, okay, here's like the 10 most attractive people.
I mean,
Here's
that
the most
varies
10%
in
of
different
attractive people.
countries too, like what people view
Okay,
attractive.
well, I don't know how things are in Kazakhstan. I don't know, but Matt raised a very good point, and I think this is actually a better comparison than one I made. Is, well, what about men who are wearing a hat that are hiding their bald spot? I actually think that's a much better comparison to women wearing makeup.
Okay.
That's a better.
Good job, Matt. You have a better comparison.
I'll take off the hat if you take off the makeup, okay? This hat is not coming off. Take off the makeup.
I
Wait, what's under
literally
the-
wash all my makeup off right now. I have absolutely no problem with that.
But-
Yeah, I
Very
know that.
comfortable without any makeup.
But okay, show of hands. Who here would be, you match with a guy and he's always wearing a hat, and it didn't occur to you that maybe he's like hiding that he's bald or balding or whatever. How many of you would kind of feel like a little bit like he hid something from you, or maybe you're less physically attractive when you find out that he's balding?
Well, how am I gonna
I'm
figure it
gonna
out?
just
He's way
say,
taller
that
than me.
deep. That's not like the first thing I think. Oh my god, he's wearing a hat. He's bald.
My concern would be like, oh, this guy is much older than
But
me.
let's not kid. Women are attracted to men who have a full head of hair.
He could be
I
bald.
heard that if you
Okay.
lose your
Agreed.
hair young, it means
Shade.
you have more testosterone.
Okay.
So true. That is so true.
But
Also
on the
bald
pure-
with
Maybe it
him.
means like then you make up for in other masculine ways.
But
you
most
know?
of you, okay, when he gave this example, most of you recoiled to some degree and were like, yeah, that's kind of messed up if a guy wears a hat to hide a bald spot. That's how we feel about women who wear makeup.
Well,
You are
You want to
hiding.
abolish
Men don't
makeup? Is that what you're saying?
completely
You want to
understand.
abolish makeup and
Yeah.
abolish hats
And
and abolish untruthful
I could see that. I could see that.
descriptions on dating
Yeah.
profiles.
It's
Everyone should
misrepresentation.
just be like naked and raw in the street, nothing.
It's unrealistic. I mean, give me a
Yeah.
break.
Like-
and
like,
regardless if
do
he
you
wears
wanna
a
just
hat
be
or
like,
not, it's,
like women are liars.
and
like,
the other thing is we are more than our physical appearances. This is true for men and women. We are more than just the way that we look. And I would argue that not even I would argue, I believe that who we are as a person actually makes us more attractive or less attractive. And
That is
and you can't, put makeup on that.
that is totally true. But I think I'm not gonna tiptoe around this. Like, for me, you need to look a certain way physically you need to meet my criteria that I'm looking for. And then it's like, okay, then do you have a nice personality?
That's fine. Physical
What opens-
attraction is important. I've
Yeah.
never said that it wasn't. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that it's not enough because men and women are more than the way that they look. Just the prettier you are or the more handsome, the taller you are, the more hair that you have is not going to translate into you being a better partner.
And I think